Have you ever woken up feeling like your knees, hips, or back are a little stiffer than they used to be, making every step feel heavier? Maybe you've even found yourself hesitating before you bend down to pick something up, worried that your joints will protest. If this resonates, you're far from alone. Many people over 60, and especially after 70, experience more stiffness and aches than they'd like. But there's a gentle approach that can help ease some of that discomfort, and it doesn't require intense exercise or fancy equipment. Today, we're going to talk about yoga. Specifically, we'll explore 6 gentle yoga moves that can help increase flexibility and reduce pain, even if you're completely new to the practice. You might be wondering if yoga is just for younger folks or for people who can twist themselves into pretzels. The good news is that yoga comes in many forms, and there's a version for just about everyone. If you pick the right moves, ones that are slow, deliberate, and easy on the joints, you can loosen tight muscles, improve circulation, and calm your mind without feeling like you're forcing your body to do something it's not ready for. Think of it as a nurturing way to wake up your muscles, similar to how you might gently stretch in bed before starting your day. Let's look first at a simple seated posture that many find to be the perfect starting point. All you need is a chair and a willingness to tune in to your body. Sit with your back supported if you like, ensuring that your feet are firmly on the ground. As you inhale through your nose, lengthen your spine and imagine each vertebra stacking neatly on top of the next. On your exhale, let your shoulders relax downward, releasing tension you didn't even know you were holding. This small mindful movement can already feel like a reset button, reminding your body what good posture feels like. And the calmer pace of breath starts to quiet those aches that accumulate when we stay in rigid positions for too long. Some people call this a seated mountain pose because you're stable and upright yet soft around the edges, not locking your joints or straining your muscles. From this steady seat, you can move on to gentle neck circles. Look straight ahead, take a slow inhale, and as you exhale, drop your chin toward your chest, like you're nodding yes in the slowest, most relaxed way. Breathe in again, and on the exhale, roll your head gently to the right, bringing your ear toward your shoulder without forcing it. Pause there for a breath, noticing any stretch along the side of your neck. Inhale once more and roll your head back down through center, exhaling as you move toward your left shoulder. Imagine you're drawing a half circle with your chin. Keep the movement small if you feel any pinching. The idea is not to yank or twist your neck, but to invite a soothing release. After a few slow passes side to side, lift your head to neutral and notice if you feel less tightness around your shoulders or upper spine. The beauty of these opening moves is that they prepare your body for deeper stretches without causing discomfort. By paying attention to your breath, you also calm your mind, important for anyone who's been feeling anxious about mobility or pain. Yoga at its best is a complete mind-body experience, which is one reason it's so beneficial for seniors looking to ease daily aches and reclaim a sense of fluid movement. Another reassuring fact is that you can do these moves at your own pace. There's no rule saying you must move on if you still enjoy the current stretch. Let your breath guide you. If an inhale feels short or your muscles are resisting, maybe hang out a little longer, breathing gently until you feel the tension dissolve. And if any movement causes a sharp pain, it's okay to back off or skip that motion for the time being. Yoga is about tuning in to what your body needs, not punishing it for what it can't do right now. This gentle introduction to seated posture and neck circles is just the beginning. Many seniors find that with patience and regular practice, just a few minutes each day, the stiffness that used to greet them in the morning becomes more manageable. It's a subtle transformation that can make everyday tasks, like reaching up to a shelf or looking over your shoulder while driving, feel easier. You might not become a yoga master overnight, but you can definitely notice improvements in your range of motion and overall comfort. Now that we've focused on a couple of foundational movements, we can start exploring other gentle poses that address different areas of the body, hips, lower back, and more. So you can build a short, simple routine that leaves you feeling looser, lighter, and more at ease in your day-to-day life. Now that you've settled into a comfortable seated position and eased tension in your neck and shoulders, let's deepen our exploration by gently waking up the spine. One classic movement many people find soothing is often called the cat-cow stretch, though we'll adapt it for a chair if that feels safer for you. Sitting tall again with your feet planted, place your hands lightly on your knees or thighs. As you inhale, arch your back slightly, drawing your shoulders back and letting your chest open forward. You might feel a mild expansion through your rib cage and a sense of space near your heart. Then, on the exhale, round your spine softly, bringing your chin toward your chest and tucking your tailbone in. If you prefer, you can slide your hands forward on your knees to guide this motion. Imagine this movement flowing like an easy rhythm, breathing in to lift and open, breathing out to curve and release. Avoid straining or forcing your spine into a big arch or an extreme curve. A gentle sway is enough to get your vertebrae moving. You might notice warmth spreading along your lower back or a pleasant hum in your shoulders. This cat-cow variation can do wonders for people who have spent much of the day sitting still, perhaps reading or watching TV. It sends a reminder to the spine that it's designed to bend and flex, not just stay locked in one position. During these slow arcs and bends, keep an eye on how your breath and body work together. If you feel a pinch in your lower back, pause and adjust. Maybe you reduce the range of motion or take smaller, more subtle shifts. The goal is never to push to the point of pain, quite the opposite. Yoga emphasizes finding a harmony between effort and ease. If you treat your spine with kindness and respect its current limits, you'll find that over time, those limits expand naturally. Another wonderful stretch for the spine is a simple seated twist, but it's crucial to do it gently and with control. Keeping both feet flat on the floor, inhale deeply, and as you exhale, turn your torso slightly to one side, say the right side, bringing your left hand onto your right knee or thigh for a bit of support. Your right arm can rest on the chair's back or your hip, whichever feels more comfortable. Look over your right shoulder if that doesn't strain your neck, but keep your chin aligned with the direction of your spine. Avoid yanking yourself into the twist. Think of it as guiding your torso into a mild rotation. With each inhale, imagine lengthening your spine upward, like you're creating space between your vertebrae. With each exhale, allow your body to rotate just a hair more, but only if it feels inviting. After a few breaths, untwist slowly and come back to center. Then repeat on the other side, inhaling to sit tall and exhaling as you gently twist. Twists often feel like a reset button for the midsection, helping relieve tension around the lower back and even aiding digestion by gently massaging your abdominal organs. While cat-cow and seated twists each bring their own benefits, together they offer a well-rounded way to keep the spine mobile. Think of cat-cow as the forward and back reset, and the twist as a side-to-side realignment. If you were to practice just these two movements daily, even for just a few slow, mindful rounds, you might notice that your posture improves and that the dull ache near your shoulders or lower back lessens over time. Remember, you set the pace. If you need a break mid-stretch or if your breath feels rushed, linger a moment in a neutral position, taking a calm inhale or two before continuing. One of the gifts of yoga is that it's not a race. It's a conversation with your body. Sometimes your body responds with, "Yes, that feels good," and you can go a bit further. Other times it might say, "Nope, that's enough for now," and that's equally valid. Listening and respecting those signals fosters a sense of trust in yourself, which is particularly empowering as you navigate changes that come with aging. By integrating these gentle movements into your routine, you're gradually teaching your spine and your surrounding muscles to remain flexible. This can make everyday tasks, like bending to tie your shoes, reaching for a book on a shelf, or turning around to chat with someone behind you, feel more effortless. It's often the small, unnoticed improvements that bring the most delight, like waking up and realizing you're not wincing when you roll out of bed. From here, you can explore other yoga movements that target different joints and muscle groups, continuing to build a brief practice that supports your overall comfort and mobility. Each pose you learn adds a piece to the puzzle of healthy aging, reminding you that you're not stuck in a rigid pattern of aches and limitations. Instead, you have a toolkit, your breath, your patience, and these gentle poses that can help you maintain a sense of ease in your body. And with that ease comes a renewed zest for the simple joys of daily life. Now that you've begun to warm your spine with these seated moves, it's a perfect time to bring a little more attention to your hips and shoulders. Our hips in particular do so much for us, from supporting our balance to bearing our body weight. Yet they often end uptight or sore, especially if we spend a lot of time sitting. Thankfully, a gentle hip opener can help release tension in that area without forcing any extreme stretches. One way to do this is to remain seated in your chair. Take a slow, steady breath, and as you exhale, lift your right foot and place your right ankle just above your left knee if it can comfortably rest there. It might look like you've made a little triangle with your legs. If that's too high or feels too tight, it's absolutely okay to set your right foot on a step stool or leave it on the floor and just open the knee outward a bit. Once you're settled, inhale and lengthen your spine, feeling the crown of your head reach upward. Then exhale and hinge forward gently at your hips, noticing how your right hip and glutes begin to stretch. You might sense a pleasant pull, nothing sharp or painful near the back of your hip. Stay there for a few deep breaths, letting your body soften. Then gently return to upright and switch legs. This simple move can work wonders over time, improving hip mobility so that getting in and out of a car or standing up from a low couch becomes easier. If you've ever experienced mild sciatica or tight glutes, you may find that focusing on calm breathing here helps soothe the tension. And remember, if something doesn't feel right or is too intense, back off. Yoga is about listening to your body's cues, not about impressing anyone, least of all yourself. Even the act of positioning your leg partially without a deep fold can begin to free up your hip area. Once your hips feel that little wave of relief, you can turn your focus to your shoulders and upper back. Often, we carry stress here, without even realizing it, which can lead to stiffness or those knots you feel near your shoulder blades. A slow shoulder roll can bring gentle circulation to that whole region, but we can take it a bit further using a soothing seated cactus variation. Sit comfortably and inhale as you lift your arms to your sides, bending your elbows so your forearms point straight up, hands relaxed. On the exhale, draw your elbows slightly toward your waist while gently squeezing the shoulder blades together. You might feel your chest open up in front and your upper back engage behind you. Hold for a breath or two, then inhale to reset, letting your elbows float back outward. By doing this slowly and steadily, you'll notice a release in those spots that often clench up, especially if you've been hunching over a phone or a book. The cactus shape encourages your chest to expand, and it reminds your shoulders they're allowed to relax back instead of slumping forward. Again, minimal effort is required, just enough tension to feel a bit of strength in the mid-back, balanced with the calming sensation of a deeper inhale. After a few rounds, let your arms rest in your lap and see if your posture feels just a touch more upright. Combining a hip opener and a shoulder release with the foundational seated postures and spinal movements you've already done can make a short but mighty routine. It's the kind of practice you might do each morning or even sprinkle throughout the day, whenever you need a short break from routine tasks. Many seniors find that just 5 or 10 minutes of these gentle moves fosters a sense of lightness and ease, helping them approach the rest of their day with more energy and confidence. Perhaps the most important takeaway is that these poses are less about pushing your body's limits and more about embracing what's comfortable for you at this stage in life. Yoga, in its truest sense, is deeply personal. What works for one senior might look different for another. But the unifying thread is that feeling of respect for your own needs, stretching and strengthening at a pace that nurtures rather than forces. If you practice regularly, you'll likely notice subtle but meaningful progress, rising from a chair with less groaning, walking with a little more pep in your step, and discovering that moments of calm can be yours whenever you pause, breathe, and let your body gently move. As you continue to explore these gentle yoga movements, you're creating a new relationship with your body, one based on cooperation, rather than battling aches or ignoring your muscles' signals. In time, it can become a comforting ritual, a welcome chance to check in with yourself, release the day's tensions, and invite a pleasant sense of freedom into your joints and tissues. And that's a gift no matter what your age. Now that you've sampled a range of simple seated moves that address your spine, hips, and shoulders, there's one more gentle yoga pose that can tie everything together and bring a soothing sense of completeness to your practice. It's often referred to as a seated forward fold, and it offers a calm release for your entire back body, from your lower spine up through the neck. Think of it like a modest bow that doesn't force a deep bend, yet still encourages your back and legs to relax and lengthen. If you're seated in a sturdy chair, scoot forward slightly to free up your hips. Keep your feet comfortably apart, about hip width, so there's space to fold forward without pinching. Inhale slowly, lengthening your spine again, feeling that same upward lift you practiced earlier. As you exhale, begin to hinge forward from your hips. Let your hands drape down toward the floor or rest them on your shins, wherever they happen to land with ease. You don't need to reach your toes or strain toward the ground. Instead, allow your head and neck to soften, releasing tension in the upper back. If you'd like extra support, place a pillow or cushion across your lap and let your arms or head rest on that. Breathe in the fold for a few moments. Visualize each exhale melting away tightness in your lower back. Notice how your shoulders might drop away from your ears and how your breath can become steady and deep. If you sense any resistance or discomfort, pause and adjust. Maybe lifting your torso a bit to reduce the angle of the fold. The purpose here is a gentle, relaxed stretch that massages your lower spine, not a forced movement that leaves you lightheaded or achy. When you feel ready to come out of it, roll up very slowly, stacking each vertebra with care. Keep your neck aligned with your spine, and take a moment when upright to let your head settle on top of your shoulders. Sometimes standing up too quickly from a forward fold can lead to dizziness, so remember that slow is the key word here. You've now experienced 6 gentle yoga moves: the upright seated posture to reset alignment, neck circles to ease tension, cat-cow or forward back motions for spinal health, a mild twist for the midsection, hip openers for the lower body, shoulder releases to free the upper back, and this final forward fold for a complete sense of release. Even though you've practiced each separately, they can flow one into another as a brief daily routine. Each transition can be guided by your breath. You might spend just 20-30 seconds in each pose, or linger longer if it feels especially good. It's beneficial to remember that the benefits of yoga aren't limited to the moments you're on a mat or chair. As you become more familiar with these poses, you'll notice a growing sense of physical confidence throughout your day. Perhaps you'll find yourself standing a little taller while washing dishes or stepping into the car more gracefully, with less fear of pulling a muscle. Equally significant is the mental calm that often accompanies focused breath work. By gently slowing your breathing and tuning into your body's signals, you create a space for mindfulness, an escape from the rushing thoughts or worries that can crowd the mind. This mental ease can help lower stress, improve sleep quality, and foster a more positive outlook overall. You also have the freedom to adapt. If you find a particular pose consistently irritates a certain joint, consider using extra support, like pillows, a rolled-up towel under your knees, or blocks under your hands if you happen to have them. If sitting on a chair feels restrictive, for certain stretches you could explore these poses on the couch or even standing by a kitchen counter for balance. The essence of yoga is self-compassion, meaning you meet your body where it is, not where it used to be decades ago, or where you think it should be. By practicing that compassion, you'll likely find that your body thanks you in return, offering a gradual increase in flexibility and a decrease in discomfort. As with any new exercise routine, it's wise to check in with a healthcare professional if you have specific concerns, especially if you deal with chronic conditions like severe arthritis or osteoporosis. But for many seniors, these gentle forms of yoga are surprisingly accessible, posing minimal risk as long as you move slowly and pay attention to your body's responses. Now that you've got a handle on these 6 moves, you might want to try them out for just 5 or 10 minutes a day. Maybe first thing in the morning to ward off that lingering stiffness, or before bed to soothe tension from the day. In time, you could find yourself drawn to expand your practice, maybe exploring a full seated yoga session, or even a cautious, beginner-friendly class if you feel confident. But there's no rush. The real joy is in noticing those incremental improvements, like easing your arm behind your back without wincing, or walking your dog and realizing you feel more limber than you did last month. These successes, though often subtle, can elevate your daily life and remind you that aging doesn't have to be a downward spiral of reduced mobility. If you'd like to share how these poses work for you, the comments are a wonderful place to connect. Someone else might find hope or courage in reading your experiences. Or if you have any personal tweaks you've discovered, like adding an extra pillow here or modifying a twist there, your insights might guide another viewer toward greater comfort. Of course, if you found this discussion helpful, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more supportive and senior-focused content. Because whether you're 60, 70, or well into your 80s, it's never too late to find relief, joy, and a feeling of lightness in your body. Here's to you, continuing to honor your body's wisdom and letting these gentle stretches bring ease to your joints and muscles. May each day find you sitting, standing, and moving with a sense of freedom you may have thought was out of reach. Because flexibility and reduced pain aren't just for the young. With patience and kindness, they can be for every senior who chooses a path of mindful movement and self-care. Namaste.